I'm about to live audit an actual plumber's SEO and show you exactly what it would take to rank him #1 on Google. If you're a home service business owner watching this, you're gonna see exactly how I think about ranking a contractor or a blue collar business in a real market. Quick context, we've helped over 100 home service businesses rank at the top of Google. So plumbers, roofers, HVAC, electricians, restoration, remodeling, etc. The gaps that I see across these businesses are almost identical. And so I want to show you exactly what they look like inside of a real audit. I'm going to run through 5 things: his Google business profile, his website and service pages, his review profile, his backlink profile, and his competitors or his competition. By the end of the video, you'll know exactly what it takes to rank a plumber #1 on Google in a real market, and you'll be able to run this same audit on your home service business. The GBP is where 70% of the local SEO battle is won or lost. Let's see what he's got. So I literally just searched up sewer line repair in Richmond, Virginia, because I think this is a market where it's large enough to be comparable to most US markets. It's also not the biggest metro. It's not comparable to Dallas Fort Worth or to, even Austin, Texas. I would say it's less competitive for sure. So it's going to be a really unique kind of audit here. So I found Zoom Drain. I have no affiliation with them. The owner does not know that I'm doing this audit, so I hope they find this helpful. But we're just going to take a look at the Google business profile first. So first things first, let's take a look at where they rank. So you can obviously look up, sewer line repair Richmond, and you can see, oh, they came up 4th or 5th, whatever. But to get the most accurate read, we're going to use an SEO tool, completely unaffiliated. This is called Local Dominator. And what I did was scan for 3 of their target keywords. So first is drain cleaning Richmond. You can see right here, they're performing very well up north and to the west a bit. But when they get into the heart of downtown Richmond, it definitely does fall off. And so let's just zoom through some of these other scans. We got Plumber near me. This is how they're ranking. Plumber Richmond. This is how they're ranking. Sewer line repair near me. This is how they rank. And then sewer line repair Richmond. So just for clarity, if you're unfamiliar with this tool, every single pin on this map shows us exactly how they show up, what position they show up at that point. So let's say that I own a house in, Chamberlain, and I search for drain cleaning Richmond on my phone. They're going to show up 3rd here, 2nd here, 2nd. So they're in the top 3 around me. Now, if I'm sitting in downtown Richmond at a Starbucks and I look up drain cleaning Richmond, they're showing up after 11 other companies. They're the 12th option on Google. And so for this map to mean that you are getting calls, you want it to be as green as possible. You want to have as much top 3 as possible, because the entire point of this is if I look up drain cleaning near me on a normal search, the top 3 ranking businesses will show up in this map pack. So again, if I am 4th right here, you are not in the search results. You would have to click more businesses, which only about 5% of searchers do. About 75% of all searchers land and only click and call one of these 3 top ranking companies, which is pretty insane. And so these maps, as you can see, are like of utmost importance. This map pretty much dictates how many calls you get from Google. So let's audit these real quick. Drain cleaning Richmond. They have good visibility up north and a little bit west. And what I did was, I'm completely unfamiliar with the area and with the metro. But if we just look at household income key for Richmond, pretty much the more west we get, the wealthier it is. And that is perfect because these guys are actually doing pretty well when we go a little bit more west. And so obviously there's going to be less population, so there's kind of a balance here. But this kind of northwest area is pretty solid in terms of like average to high socioeconomic kind of layout, and then, also population. So using this tool, again, this kind of feels like a demo for the tool, but we just use it. We're unaffiliated. We click on any pin on the map and we can see who ranks 1st, 2nd, 3rd, all the way through the 20th slot at that pin. So when I click on top of anywhere over here, we have 2 other companies that have good rankings, you can see. But then when I click downtown where we're not ranking well, we click on these guys and it shows us their map. They're ranking super well for this area. And so it's just super unique because I think what I want to focus on here is they're doing well for drain cleaning keywords in their target market. For plumber near me, they're not doing so well. And there are companies with much better visibility like Plum Life Plumbing right here. They have about probably 5 to 10x the visibility. They have 19% top three. We have 4% top three. For Plumber Richmond, we are completely invisible, which is not ideal. And then as you can see here, this shows me the average rank of the competitors. If we click on Knuckles, they are absolutely dominating the market for Plumber Richmond. So we'll get into that a little bit later. And I'm actually just going to mentally note that down. Plumber Richmond, we are not ranking for. They're not getting any phone calls from it because as you can see, they're showing up 20th plus. So if we click on Knuckles, they are killing it. And yes, they have about 6 times the reviews that our company Zoom Drain does, but that doesn't just dictate that they rank first. There's a bunch of other factors, which we're going to talk about in a second here. And then let's check out Sewer Line Repair. They're doing pretty well, actually a lot better than most people in the market. And they're ranking pretty well in the wealthier areas. And then Sewer Line Repair Richmond, the city version of the keyword, they are also doing very well. Now, if we click down here, they're not ranking. And we can see like Smithco Plumbing, they're doing okay. M.A. Williams, they're doing okay. Knuckles, not so great. So we're going to dig into all this. In this video, I'm going to focus primarily on the keywords they're not ranking well for, which is Plumber Richmond. So let's get into that. So first things first, I start with the GBP, always. If you're not aware, the Google Business Profile is what we are scanning for here. This is not the website. The website's content and structure and SEO does feed into these rankings, but this is for the Google Business Profile. So what I want to do first here is we are going to use a plugin. It's called GMB Spy. We don't use it very often, but I'm just going to refresh the page and click on that. And then from here, we can essentially see their primary and secondary categories. So the category of your business is super important because as you can see, they're Zoom Drain and they do plumbing, sewer, drain, etc. So they're ranking well for drain related keywords because they have drain in their name. Now, if they had Zoom sewer line repair in their name, chances are this map would be a lot better. Chances are this map, they'd be ranking for a lot of the metro. And the reason for this is Google sees businesses with the search, whatever it is, in their business name as more relevant to the search, obviously, because A, they think it's related, B, they might even think that this search is literally for their company name if you have what's called an exact match name. So just to clarify, if I was Zoom Drain and all I wanted was sewer line repair calls, I don't even want drain calls, even though a lot of drains can upsell to sewer, obviously. If all I wanted was sewer line repair calls, I would make my Google Business Profile name Zoom Sewer Line Repair and then potentially add Richmond in there. Now to do this, you can't just change your name at will. You got to get a DBA, you got to set it up correctly. You're going to have to get suspended and re-verify your profile most likely. So it's a process. You don't just go around changing your name. But if I wanted to rank for sewer line repair specifically, I would put that in my Google Business Profile name. So back to the category. Plumber's the right primary category here because honestly, even if they want to push for more drain and sewer related keywords or searches, having drainage service is just not ideal as your primary category. Having it as plumber, which is what all the competition has, is going to be the best bet. Secondary, they have contractor, which I'm not entirely sure they need. Drainage service is good. Septic system service is also very good. I'm not sure how much septic there is in Richmond, but good enough. So next, on to their business info. So they're listed as open 24 hours a day for what looks like Monday through Thursday, and then Friday through Sunday. They have some funky hours here. That's totally fine. A trick here is if you are closed on Google, you will not show up for search results during that time, at least above competitors who are open. And so if you can set up either some offshore receptionist or even an AI answering service, which we've been testing for a couple clients, it's crushing it. You're effectively able to say that your business is technically open 24 hours a day, and then you'll get search visibility 24 hours a day, but you do have to receive those calls. So quick trick there, if you just want to rank more than your competition, a lot of companies are open 9 to 8 or 9 to looks like 7 to 8 for these guys. And so a lot of homeowners will call people after like 6, 7, 8 p.m. because their issues come up after work, right? And so these guys, by limiting themselves to closing at 7, you know, obviously you don't want to work 24 hours a day, but if you can be strategic about setting up some sort of receptionist who can handle the after hours service or an AI answering system, I would suggest it. You can update your business hours to 24 hours and you'll rank for more hours in the day, essentially. Quick pause. If you're watching this and you're realizing your own business has half of these gaps, that's normal. Every business we audit does. So if you want us to do this audit for you and actually fix it and get your business ranking first to get more book jobs, click the first link in the description below to apply to work with us. We'll run the full audit on your market and tell you exactly what it would take to rank you number one. Back to the video. So let's take a look at the from the owner section. So these are what are called GBP posts. And these are pretty much like Google Business's social media. So you can actually put out posts from your profile with images and a description, as well as a call to action button. And so you can see here, they actually did it in the past in July. They have not been consistent with these. Google Business Profile posts are not proven to be a big ranking factor. So by that, I mean, if you're not posting at all, it's not the biggest deal, but what it does help with is showing Google you're an active business, which in turn can help you rank higher. So for us, it's not a big needle mover, but we do it for all of our clients because it takes, 30 minutes every week or whatever. So in these posts, they're missing a fundamental strategy that we do for all our clients, and I don't think a lot of agencies actually know about, which is in every post, we do it 2 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. We include a post graphic, so an image of, them on a job or an image of their team or their company vehicle. And then we actually include a learn more button. So the learn more button, instead of having a call now button, let's just find a competitor who is posting. Looks like these guys are. So check it out. They have a call now button. Nobody is scrolling through these GBP posts and then clicking call now. I can promise you that. We've tested it with over 40 companies in different markets and different industries. You're not going to get many calls from this call now button. Now, instead, if you use the learn more button and then use that to internally link to one of your service pages or one of your location pages, which we'll get into in a second here, it actually helps those pages show up higher on Google. And so this is a hidden trick. You can keep those website pages indexed and help them rank higher by linking to them from these posts. So that's a strategy I would recommend everyone does. Now let's take a look at their photos. So just scrolling through these, they have good photos of their people on a job. Looks like that is potentially a real photo. I'm not too sure. 2023, I doubt that's AI. And they have just, real job photos, which is good. Also, getting your guys with the branded vehicle is perfect. These photos are awesome just because it adds this human element. Cool. Okay, so they got some looks like sponsored like team photos for maybe high school soccer or something. Other photos of them on the job showing really crappy broken pipes or rusted pipes, etc. These are awesome. So the issue I'm seeing is they don't have a lot of new photos. So you can see 2023, 2023, 2025, couple from 2026. Your goal should be take photos of every single job you do, have all your techs take photos, make it mandatory, and then have them upload it to a shared Google Drive folder that you can then post on your profile every 2 weeks or 4 weeks. Having an active profile with better photos, it does help improve your ranks a little bit, but most importantly, it gives customers or potential customers this massive photo base to click through in order to kind of learn to trust you guys. The last thing I'll say is that they have a physical location profile, which is super, super important. And so you'll see if we scroll down to the bottom of this list here, we might find some profiles without a physical location listed. So they just have what's called a service area profile. So like, for example, these guys, they have a service area. There's a reason that they're not showing up in the top 20 results, okay? With Google search nowadays, especially on maps, it needs to see your physical location listed in order to be able to recommend you in local search results in any competitive market. So if we're out in, Beaver Dam and there's like one plumber there and you're the other plumber and you're a service area profile, you're going to show up. But in any half competitive market, you're going to need a physical location profile in order to rank. It gives the right location and proximity signals for Google to actually trust you. So that's the GBP section concluded. They have a pretty strong Google business profile. I would add the posting strategy. I would also add the new photos every week. And then we'll get into reviews shortly. I think the last thing to mention is their name isn't exactly advantageous. If I was them, I would set up a DBA and name the DBA Zoom Plumbing, Drain, and Sewer Repair, because I'm going to assume they want drains and sewer repairs. Those are the high ticket jobs. That's what every plumbing company wants. Obviously, they need, service work to keep the guys busy as well. But if I got that DBA, I would then change the name here and on all the citations, and we would probably rank higher for every plumbing, drain, and sewer related search. So if we just take a look at these maps, again, some of the guys that were really crushing it, Knuckles, they're killing it. So let's just take a look at their profile real quick. So 342 reviews. So they have about 3x the reviews, which is, obviously a big factor. Also looks like they might have some better photos. So like these complex photos are just killer for showing people, here's what we can do. They have some nice like bathroom fixtures, etc. These are just pretty, but aesthetically pleasing photos obviously helps with click-through rate. Looks like we got some funny team photos. Looks like the team at bowling, which is cool. People like this kind of human element. I would say they're doing a little bit better on photos. But then if we just look at their name, Knuckles Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, the classic HVAC plumbing business name on Google Maps, it's more advantaged. They have plumbing, they have heating, and they have cooling. So for anything plumbing, heating, or cooling, they will outrank Zoom Drain because of that business name. It is a direct ranking advantage. When we look at where they're located, they are pretty similar location, I believe. They have a physical location, and they're doing posts, it looks like, but not very consistently, which is interesting. But they do have learn more buttons, so I would assume they're linking to relevant website pages. The reason I think they're ranking higher is reviews, business name, and better photos. So that's what you can kind of take with this. Cool. Step number 2 is their website. So let's take a look. Okay, looks like they're a franchise. I did not even realize that. So they are definitely a franchise, but we are still going to audit their page because the principles still matter here. And a lot of franchises, if you're a franchise owner, you will just get one location page. You're not going to get your own web of service pages for your location. This company does. So if we look on their hydrojetting page, you can see it's specific to Richmond, which is a good thing. If your franchise just gives you a location page, you don't have much to work with in terms of SEO, which sucks. But these guys do, so we're going to continue with the audit. So it looks like they have what I believe is probably Service Titan plugin right here just for online scheduling. Let's just check that. Yep. So they got Service Titan, which is good. I think a lot of people like this option. Now, if we click on the mobile version of the site, they have the call button, they have the online scheduling button. I would make the logo smaller and I would have the phone number listed out because some people do like to read it out. And then also just have the button bigger. I think like 70% of your leads are going to prefer to just call you instead of schedule online. But that's just what we've seen. So for their page title of their general location page, looks like Richmond Drain and Sewer Cleaning, which is pretty solid. I would make it Richmond Drain Cleaning and Sewer Repair if we wanted to rank for both of those keywords specifically. And then they have the brand name, which is good. Branded search is super important for Google in 2026. A lot of what Google looks at is just trusted brands. And so I recommend including your brand name in all of your page titles if you can. They have one H1 header, so their site is set up properly. Looks like it's the same thing, sewer and drain cleaning in Richmond. I would probably make it drain cleaning and sewer repair in Richmond just to help us rank for both of those keywords. A lot of SEOs say you can't rank for 2 keywords on the main H1. I would sometimes agree, but in this case, they have a national site. They have a lot of authority on their domain. I would say we're good to go in terms of optimizing for both. So let's scroll through the page. They have the right headers. They have good internal linking, which is super important here. And so, for example, backing up, pipe is leaking. These are either blog pages or, so service specific pages, which is good. They have real photos, which is also super important. The AI generated images, they're okay. They're not great. People see through them, and I think people just want to choose a real company with actual humans these days, with all this AI out there. So it looks like they have different like kind of use cases or customer bases. They do also have coupons, which is good. People do like to click on these. Service area, that's all covered. Cool. And then another call to action. I actually wouldn't change too much about this page in terms of conversion rate and SEO. I think it's set up pretty well. What I would say is putting those offers higher up and then putting these reviews from Google. So they have the little Google icon. These just don't look real. What I would do is dynamically embed the reviews from Google. So it's not just a long list here, but it's actually dynamically pulling them from your GBP. In terms of their other headers, so let's click at the headings. They have trusted technicians, clear communication, not so great. And so a lot of their H2 headers aren't actually relating to the drain and sewer service. So I would try to target similar keywords in the other headers. The way it works is you have an H1 header. You should only have one. If you have two, get rid of one of them. And you want to put your target keyword for that page that you want to rank in that H1 header as well as in the page title. So they have done that in H1 and page title, but I do think they should target it differently. Let's take a look at their other pages. So on a website, what I look for is you want to have a service page for every single service you offer and a location page for every single location you offer, or you serve, I should say. So when we click on About Us, areas we serve, I would expect they have neighborhood specific pages within the Richmond metro, which is good. So with these, let's just take a look at these. So it actually does look like they have different unique content on these pages, which is really important. As you can see, it's not just copy and pasted the same content. And this is one of the biggest issues we see all the time with other companies is they have 200 location pages that they built with Claude or, their SEO agencies charging them $2K a month to build them spammy location pages. And then they're not ranking because they have all the same page content. So that is of utmost importance. You need unique content on every single service page and every single location page. They have helpful content here, it looks like. Let's see what else they have. Good FAQs for SEO. So these look like they're just trying to build topical authority and show Google, hey, we actually do know stuff about the Midlothian area within Richmond. We're, neighborhood specific. So that's really good. The one thing I would say is they need better internal linking from these location pages to the service pages. So from this Midlothian areas we serve page, we want to internally link back to like 5 or 10 of the main service pages. So it could be anything under, drains or sewer, etc. The entire goal is to build this massive web of internal links going from location pages to service pages back to the location pages, homepage to both of them, so that Google can just send the crawlers through these kind of webs and just see and help rank all your pages. So they passed the website test. They have really good pages. They have the right location and service pages. They have decent internal linking and they have good page content. So I would say that's like a 9 out of 10 right here, especially for a franchise site. Franchise sites usually totally screw up their SEO. So let's take a look at their reviews. If you're not aware, reviews are about 35% of what it takes to rank on Google Maps and on the map pack. So again, if we were to look up drain cleaning near me, this is the map pack, and to rank in here, typically you need reviews. Now it's also about proximity because I looked up near me, and so these guys are both close to me. They have terrible reviews, but typically reviews are incredibly important, especially for city-related searches. So if we just take a look at their reviews, 148, 4.9 star. 4.9 star is good, but in a market like Richmond, they're competing, but they're not ranking first for a lot of keywords. So if we look at Plumber Richmond, this is Knuckles. They have 340 reviews. This is Zoom Drain. They have 140. So I would say if they doubled their reviews and brought them in consistently, they would be crushing it. Now, if we search by newest, we can see 1 review, 2 reviews, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 reviews in the past month, which is totally not enough in order to dominate what I would consider competitive market. When you look at the top guys in your market who are ranking first, chances are they're pulling in over 20 reviews a month if you're a plumber. In lower volume businesses like remodeling, it's going to be, 5 to 10 a month at the top. But what a lot of people get wrong is that, if we have 1,000 reviews, we're going to rank first. And that's not actually true. Because if you have 1,000 reviews, all from 5 years ago, and then there's this new guy with 250 reviews, but they're all within the past 2 years, they're going to outrank you most likely. So total count's important, average rating is important, the quality of the reviews is important. So do people mention the actual service you provided? These people actually do go in depth, which is good. As you can see here, they're going in about the pricing, the experience, etc. But the issue here is they're not getting a lot of reviews per month. The review consistency or velocity is incredibly important. So I would give their reviews about a 5 out of 10, which I also think is one of their biggest needle movers. They have a good website. That website is feeding into the Google business profile. But when we look at Knuckles, they're getting way more reviews consistently. 4 days ago, 5 days ago, six. And we have, what looks to be close to like 15 or 20 reviews in a month. So no wonder they're outranking them for Plumber. Okay, let's take a look at the last stage. So this is a tool called Ahrefs. It is an SEO tool that we use to look at domain or just website SEO traffic. I am on a paid plan. You can actually get a paid plan for like $30 a month. It's really not bad. Do you need it as a local business? No, but it's nice to play around with. So you can see they do have a bit of organic traffic coming in. What we're going to do is look at what keywords they're ranking for. So they only have 11 listed keywords, which is definitely not enough for a major market, especially with a national franchise level of domain authority. They're ranking third for drain cleaning Richmond, second for block drains Richmond, third for Richmond drain cleaning, fifth for sewer specialist near me. So they're pretty much invisible for these sewer keywords, which is interesting. Now, the reason for this is probably those sewer pages don't have good enough content and they don't have enough backlinks to rank. So what we're going to do here is take a look at their backlinks and how they're kind of doing on the referring domains. So obviously they have massive DR. 48 DR out of 100 is incredible for a local service business. This is because they are a franchise and their national site has all this domain authority. DR or domain rating is a made-up metric that kind of speaks to how authoritative Google perceives your company's website as. And so the higher the better typically, but it's kind of a made-up metric in that SEOs like myself can inflate this number with a lot of link building. But the general premise is the more quality mentions you have from other websites, the better your website will rank in normal Google search results. And so their DR being 48 definitely helps this location page rank. But they only have 27 referring domains, which means 27 unique domains that refer to the Richmond location. So scrap the national franchise. They have some citations, it looks like. So they have yellow pages, Chamber of Commerce. This is all good. But this is just the fundamentals. They don't have any real links. They have some spammy links down here, and then they have main directories up here. So they don't have any links from other contractor sites, from other local business sites. Nothing local to Richmond, really, other than Chamber of Commerce, which isn't ideal. And so if I was to take over this SEO strategy and try to get them ranking #1 for all their keywords, I would build a lot of local links. I would also do a lot of outreach and build backlinks from other contracting sites across the US. We do that by using our connections. We also do a lot of outreach to companies. So offering content in exchange for links. A lot of people will just ask for a payment, which we do for most of our clients. Because everyone, if you want to rank first in competitive markets, you're going to have to spend money on links. That's kind of the reality of it. And then what I'll do here is take a look at Knuckles Plumbing. So their site is so-so, but we are going to take that in here and look at their referring domains. They have 138 referring domains, of which they have all the main ones, Chamber of Commerce, BBB, Yellow Pages, but they also have like Southern Living. Looks like they have some other kind of like nationwide directories, Earth-based, Contractors Up, some spammier ones, which are probably not even built by them. It's probably just built by SEO spammers, HVAC USA. So the point here is they're getting a lot more quality backlinks from actual companies and from local businesses. And so no wonder they're ranking better. Reviews, backlinks, better page content, etc. They have better backlinks. That's the nature of it. And so my guess here is Zoom Drain, they're probably not working with an SEO agency, but Knuckles, they probably are working with an SEO agency. So if we look at their organic SEO, they have 138 referring domains, and you can see their organic traffic has pretty much gone up over the past like 6 months, pretty consistently. So they're actually making progress. Now, obviously, there's a big core update, about a month ago now, which dropped site traffic a bit. But their organic traffic is increasing significantly more than Zoom Drain because they have better links and probably better content. That's the audit. Google Business Profile, website, reviews, backlinks, competitors, and the verdict on what it would take to put this plumber at #1 on Google in his market. If you're a home service business owner and you want us to run this same audit on your market and actually do the work to get you ranking, click the first link in the description below and apply to work with us. We'll take a look at your business, study your competitors, and then map out the exact path to ranking number one. See you in the next one.